constantly adding and doubling and tripling the contents of that list box. So that's adding information into a list box. I'm going to also show you how to basically get the actual item that was selected. So when the user selects an item, we're going to display a message box, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Let me just show you one more thing here, and that is we're calling our fill user database list here once when the user clicks on the server. So we're calling the selected index changed event. All right, and basically what that means is anytime a user clicks on one of these items, that event is going to click off. Oop, wrong form here. Let's go to our updated version 2 form here. Anytime a user clicks on an item within this form, the selected index event is going to fire. And of course, then we would want to empty and refill this based on the server that they chose. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is that we're saying when the selected index change event occurs, just go ahead and call this fill user database list method, and it'll take care of the rest. It'll make sure that an item is actually chosen. It'll clear the list and then refill the list based on what is chosen in there and based on the radio button that was selected. We also want to fill that list every time users or databases. Obviously, if they select users, we want this to be the user list. If they select databases, we want this to be the database list. So what I did here was actually combined both of these radio buttons click event into one method, so we don't have to duplicate code. And how I did that was I actually went over here to the handles clause that I showed you earlier, and you can see we're handling the check changed event on the radio button. And then if you put a comma, we're going to handle two controls check change event at once because it's going to be the same code in both of these. So rather than have two code blocks, one for the user's check change event, one for the database's check change event, I just created one. And this is where it kind of comes in where you can rename your method here. I renamed it to RB users databases, so it's both. So we're handling both check changed events in one method here, and that's all done by the handles clause and a comment to separate multiple objects and their events. So that's kind of neat that you can do that. It'll save you some time here and some code and make your code a little cleaner. And of course, we just do the same thing then. We're just calling the fill user database list. And let me go ahead and put a me here, keep that consistent, and that's it. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how you can read information from, basically take the selected item out of the list view and do something with it, right? So let me just show you how this works first. If I hit the run button, and we select item 1 here, and then we click on item server 1 user 4 here, you can see we're going to display this message box that says list item server 1 user 4 selected. So whatever one they select, it's going to let them know which one was selected, right? If we choose databases, same thing. So this will allow us to extract information that the user's chosen, and of course if there's multiple ones, then we could create a loop through all these selected items and do something with them. But let's close out of this. Let me go back into our form here, and you can see it's pretty simple. The only thing we're doing here is we're just ensuring this time, rather than the list view has selected items that count greater than 0, we're saying me.lbusers.databases.selected items that count greater than or equal to 0 as well. Actually, we want this to be greater than 0 as well here. There we go. Because if it was 0, obviously there'd be no selected items, and we wouldn't need to do anything with it because there were no selected items. So if it's greater than 0, what we're going to do here is we're just going to display a message box saying list item, and then CHR character 34 here just gives us the ASCII character code of 34, which is a double quote. And just to show you here, if we click on an item and click on this, that's this little double quote here and this here, just to kind of let them know what text we're actually outputting there. So that's what this little special function does there. And here's what actually gets a selected item. You just do the name of the control, name of the list box in our case, dot selected item. That will extract the text out of it. Once we get a little further into this kind of stuff, I'll actually show you there's also a selected value. If we hook this up to a database, normally what you'll do is you'll have a value, right, an underlying key, and then the actual text value. Well, the actual text value will still go in the selected item property, but if we want to reference the key, maybe to send to the database so we can update that specific record, we'll extract the value out of it. So we'll touch on that a little later, more of an advanced concept, but I just want to point that out now. But for now, if you would just need to extract the text out of a text box, then just use the selected item property. You can see that's all we're doing is grabbing that data, then appending to it another double quote, and then the word selected on the end of it, and then just using the rest, filling up the rest of the message box properties here, such as the caption, what buttons to use, and what icon to use in the message box. Now, if you had a multi-selection list box and you wanted to access all of the items that the user selected, then what you do is write a loop that went through all of these selected items. So you'd go against the selected items collection, which would return a collection of items. right? And you could loop through them and do things accordingly from there on. Alright, so we'll be using many of these basic controls throughout the rest of this video series because, again, they're staples in every single application with the user interface these days. So that's it, and we'll keep on moving this application forward as well. Alright, so in this CBT Nugget, we took a look at working with basic controls. We started off here with just, we jumped right into it and got familiar with version 2 of our application, the next iteration, taking it to the next level by incorporating all the basic controls that we learned about in this video into the application. So we started off there with command and text display controls. We took a look at the button control, saw what some of its uses are, how to write code behind its click event, how to use accept keys, and how to use the accept and cancel buttons to allow the user to hit enter or hit escape to cancel out of a form. We took a look at the label control and took a look at how to use access keys in order to give the user shortcuts on them. We looked at link labels and how to basically set it up so we can allow the user to navigate. When they click on a link, it'll take them out and navigate to a website. We took a look there at just a brief look at checkboxes, radio buttons. We also took a look at text boxes and text edit controls, masked edit, or the masked text box, I should say, and how that works by setting up an IP address in there. And we took a little look there at numeric up and down controls. And at the end here, we took a look at list controls and how to work with the list box, fill it up, and then also grab selections out of it. I hope this has been informative for you, and I thank you for viewing.